Welcome to Bears in Exile. Today is Wednesday, April 18th, and this is the market overview, looking at everything that we look at each night. Alright, starting off with the Dow, it was a pretty good day. Maybe some people will be unhappy that, we didn't overtake the entire green candle yesterday. I don't think it's a bad thing, personally. You could look at this thing and say, oh, it's just stepping up. Yeah, it could be. And certainly, if the news is right tomorrow, it actually could be a very big up day, depending on what happens with the Spanish bond auctions. But still, on the daily running thread, we got down to almost the halfway mark of the big candle of yesterday, and yeah, kind of stalled out. Yeah, that's okay. It's supposed to be the first level of support or resistance going the opposite direction, and that certainly seemed to be that way, at least with the Dow. And we closed below the major price consensus level and above the lower price consensus level, just kind of hanging out. The most important thing is that it's not breaking this peak back here. So yeah, this is fine. Even if it goes up a little bit more, that's fine. As long as we don't break this, that's all good for the bears. Beyond that, we're still pointing down on the 14-day RSI moving average. The stochastics seem to be losing a little bit of steam. Still pointing up. Sideways on the CCI, sideways on the RSI, up on the histogram, up on the MACD. Notice we've never gotten a bearish cross here. If these are going to turn around already, it's not so bad. If we pull back with the 14-day RSI moving average, we know that there's plenty of room that can move on the downside. And, once we look at the proper scale, the slow stochastic has not even really met it yet. It looks like it's past it when we are really close, because the two have very different values. But anyways, it is, I don't think it's that bad, personally. 60-minute time frame. And actually, I kind of would like it to go a little bit higher, just because that would make prices better for the next short. But anyways, a little bit of maybe a little bit of greed there. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up, getting into overbought. And the stochastics, essentially, the slow still pointing down, fast is going sideways. Slightly up on the CCI, definitely down on the MACD histogram, and the MACD getting a bearish cross, 60-minute time frame. Once you put that into perspective here, does it really look that bullish when you're curling over once again, and the high is way up here? It's not so bad. And almost 83 points to the downside. That's not bad either. SPX, yeah, not as much as the Dow, but then again, it also still has way more before it can get to its previous peak. Also stuck between the two price consensus levels, just kind of hanging out, building a bigger box, essentially, with each passing day. So I would think just a matter of time before the bottom is tested. But if it wants to go a little bit higher, it's totally fine. Will be a definite warning sign if it's able to breach the major price consensus level, so be watching for that. 14-day RSI moving average still ticking down. Stochastics mixed down and up. Up on the CCI, sideways on the RSI. Up on the histogram, sideways on the MACD. It's not that powerful. Blowing up the 14-day RSI moving average. Yep, plenty of room still to move to the downside. Slow stochastic just barely reaching it. So, not so bad. 60-minute time frame. Get all that space to cover before the previous high. Just seems like quite a bit to me. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up in the 60-minute time frame. Stochastics mixed down on the CCI, sideways on the RSI, very high, sloping down on the MACD histogram, MACD going sideways. So if you're really worried about this just flying up here and breaking the previous top and everything, these should have way more momentum in them than they appear to have. So that's just not, and as a matter of fact, you have negative divergence in the SPX. Here's a peak, here's a lower peak, here's a peak, here's a higher peak. It doesn't work. Same thing with the RSI. Same thing with, no, not quite with the CCI. That's okay. 2 is just enough to have. CompQ, the NASDAQ. Where's the strength? Doji Star, down on the 14-day RSI moving average. Stochastics now mixed, not both pointing up. CCI up, RSI sideways, slightly up on the MACD histogram. MACD still ticking down slightly. Blow it up, still have lots of room to move on the 14-day RSI moving average. So I think even though the bulls are putting up a fight, which is easy to say on a red day, but even though the bulls are putting up a fight, I think that the bears are just going to grind them down, and they're just resetting the intraday charts. 60-minute chart, hey, why not? It didn't even make a, didn't even break its little previous peak as it fights. Not a good sign. 14-day RSI moving average ticking up. Stochastics mix, CCI down, RSI sideways, sloping down on the MACD histogram. MACD very slight tick down at the end of the day. And yeah, does this look really strong to you? I don't think it looks very strong. The VIX, very nice. Even at its best today, the VIX only broke 18 for a short period of time, and in the upper half of the 18 level today. Not bad. Big hanging man or hammer. And just like yesterday's candle, we were saying this isn't in the best position to really tell you anything, because it's not at the top and it's not at the bottom. And once again, now we have the exact same candle with an exclamation point. So our one worry, 14-day RSI moving average, still ticking up. It is high. No sign of it turning over yet. When it does, and if once it starts pointing down, that will be a problem. Hopefully it'll be stuck up here for a while. Stochastics totally mixed. CCI up, RSI up, histogram down, MACD sideways, and no, I mean, we really have to back it out for there to be room in the 14-day RSI moving average. I do think that's a little bit much. So that's about right. And so it could still keep pointing up for another few days, and hopefully it'll just get stuck up there. XOI oil, very, very interesting. We were saying last night with a big move up, this did not make sense, and what happens today? We have a red day. Doji Star, actually it should, have a little bit more red to this. This isn't exactly the correct candle for today's action either, which is, not exactly right. But at least it moved down slightly, and recovering some of what this day lacked. So yeah, it's okay. 14-day RSI moving average still ticking down. Stochastics mix, CCI sideways, RSI slightly up, histogram ticking up, and even the MACD, unlike everything else, ticking up. Until that 14-day RSI moving average goes to flatline, I don't think that there's too much to worry about, but that may not be that far into the future. So just something to be aware of. We do need to break this this recent floor, and actually it's a little bit lower than that now. Break this recent floor, and that'll be really, really cool. Can it get all the way back to this floor back here? Yeah, it seems like a really tall order, but I guess we'll see. At some point, the daily is going to have to reset. TNA. Yeah, not a big, really a big day one way or the other. Certainly negative. We were talking about the uptick target being met, and now we're free to continue on our way. And what is the first candle after that? It's red. Be much more powerful if it was a candle like this, but it's not. It's an indecision candle, but at least it's red. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down, stochastics mixed, CCI down, RSI sideways, histogram up, MACD very slightly up. Yes, there is some more room to move to the downside in the 14-day RSI moving average, not like the Dow or SPX. So hopefully enough to make another attempt at the new floor which was made, which also now coincides with the 200-day moving average. And what else is there? Plenty. UUP. How about that? Red day on a red UUP day. It's pretty interesting. I mean, normally they're able to float this sucker up with a dollar move, and or the market float up with a dollar move. Just weren't able to accomplish it today. And it did break through, gapped up, and broke back through the major price consensus level and the lower price consensus level. Not a good sign, not exactly what the bears want to see, but today it didn't matter. 14-day RSI moving average ticking sideways, and that is encouraging because we do want the dollar going up. Stochastics are mixed. CCI up, RSI up, histogram slightly down, MACD slightly down, and right in the middle of the long-term and short-term moving averages. Going into a double flat line, which we do not like, which we've talked about all kinds of times. So, more to come, I'm sure. And FXE. Now this one actually also does not really make sense. I mean, gap down, essentially strong all day. Normally when the euro is going up, our markets are going up, and just was not the case today. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down. That's great. That's what the bears want to see. We want the euro going down. CCI down, stochastics mix, RSI sideways, histogram slightly up, MACD going sideways. Yes, this is encouraging, and but there isn't really a lot of movement to really get the long-term moving averages to form a bar quickly. So that is a little bit of a concern, but at the moment not a pressing concern. So not bad. Closing above the lower price consensus level today. At least the market bulls have that going for them. But going on to GLD gold. Just not very interesting. Inverse hammer, possible reversal signal. We're starting to get some separation in the short-term moving averages, closed below the lower price consensus level today. Stochastics pointing down, CCI down, RSI up, histogram down, MACD down, and 14-day RSI moving average leveling out. Not really what we want to see in gold, but it is what it is. And there isn't, I mean, it looks more like some down movement at the moment, but it is so weak. It's not like there's all kinds of momentum behind this yet. So need more data. And SLV, small green doji star, up on the 14-day RSI moving average, stochastics down, CCI down, RSI up, histogram sideways, MACD sideways, indecision candle below the lower price consensus level, just not much of anything to work with. XLF, the financials. And wow, no real body to speak of. 14-day RSI moving average still ticking down. Stochastics mix, CCI down, RSI down, histogram up, MACD down, overall more negative than positive, and it makes sense since we know the financials are in bad shape. So, not bad. And if we bring it out, 14-day RSI moving average, plenty of room to the downside. More than enough to test and break this new recent low that was made. So very encouraging, and certainly it opens the door for the previous low beyond that, and more likely the major price consensus level from the previous month. But regardless, financials weak, they're supposed to be weak, and that in itself is an opportunity once this decides it's time to go. Time to let go, and we're just waiting for that. Apple. All that strength yesterday, and all it could muster is a spinning top today. We don't like spinning tops. And certainly the bulls will not like a spinning top here. Certainly it could go up some more, but really came down, touched the bar for the first time in a very long time, had a reaction, and already it's stalling. Not a good sign for the bulls. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down. Slow stochastic, not really clicking up much at all. Fast already almost at the 14-day RSI moving average. Up on the CCI, down on the RSI, slightly up on the MACD histogram, down on the MACD. Overall, more bad than good. And going in for another test of the bar. The next time it's probably going to do some damage to it. So, looking forward to that, actually. GE trying to get a better read on the Dow. Yeah, not pretty, huh? Fat body spinning top, inside day. Middle Bollinger Band still above everything. Short-term moving averages pointing down once again. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down. Stochastics weak. Fast going up, slow going sideways. Sideways on the CCI, down on the RSI, slightly up on the histogram, down on the MACD. More bad than good, definitely. So it's just setting up. Everything is just setting up. You can see that we have, you know, lower, higher low, etc. Could there be a little bit of resistance there? Sure. And when it breaks, yeah, it's probably going to be strong enough to be enough for a test of this other low. So very encouraging. It's just all getting set up. VXX, just for fun. This one is so darn weak. Small spinning top, still below the major price consensus level. 14 days still ticking up. Stochastics both pointing down, losing momentum. Up on the CCI, sideways on the RSI, down on the histogram, up on the MACD. Really not overly bad. Now we've had 2 touches of the same low between today and yesterday. Is that going to be a base for it to spring forward? Possibly. The VIX is being pretty darn resilient, and hopefully this one will do the same. But I just find the derivatives interesting. Maybe TVIX would be more interesting, but anyways. Maybe I'll stop doing VIX derivatives altogether and just focus on the VIX. But yeah, at least you can make money on this one. That's why I keep looking on it. Starbucks, yeah. What a weird little equity this is. It finished its bubble corrected move. Started moving back up today. Market down and Starbucks is up. And then the other times the market is up and Starbucks is down. How about that, you know? Everything should move together, but not this one. This one's too juiced with Joe to know what the heck is going on. Either that or it's just moving opposite because it's so wired that it already knows what's going to happen and is trying to... anyways, just a little ultra crazy speculation on that. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down, all kinds of room to move to the downside. This one is going to be very, very sweet when it finally decides to go. And stochastics down, CCI up, RSI up, histogram going sideways, MACD barely clicking down, and yeah, I like this one. This one is going to be good when the time is right. And how about another one, FAS? Another one I think be really good when the time is right. Almost with a gravestone doji today, pretty darn cool. Short-term moving average is pointing down. The bar is taking a little bit of damage, not excessive. Middle Bollinger Band still above everything. This is a financial-based ETF, so very cool. 14-day RSI moving average ticking down, stochastics mix, CCI down, RSI down, histogram slightly up, and MACD still down. 14-day RSI moving average, all kinds of room to move to the downside.
Call from Brazil.
So very encouraging here as well. I think that there will be a really good shorting opportunity in the next few days. It's just a matter of waiting for it to set up, and that's about it for tonight. Very encouraging, even though I'm sure there's all kinds of little cues that the bulls would like. Oh, there's one other thing about this, which is I think really cool. Long-term moving average bar. Here we are with the Dow. Notice it's been cut in half. So all that strength just sapped out of it as it compresses. So the next real bull, or bear, move down, it has half the strength to contain it. So very, very encouraging. And it's just a matter of waiting for the for it to take hold, and I think that that will happen. Of course, if this top is taken out, then have to reevaluate. But still, I think the odds are definitely on the bears. And that's it. As always, all investing decisions are your own. This is chart and video for entertainment, educational, and consumption of time purposes only. Thank you.